Welcome to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today we have with us Flavia Leal. How are you, Flavia?
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you for participating in our show today.
Thank you. Thanks for being
here. Glad to have you here. If you don't mind kind of providing an introduction in your own words, what you do.
I own beauty schools. We opened the first school 13 years ago. It will be 13 years ago next year. And we are now 4 schools in 2 states. We have grown a lot. We have formed over 10,000 students to the beauty world. And we are very happy to see them succeed. And I want to keep helping people to succeed, and I want to share my challenges and everything that I went through with people so they can succeed. So this is me now.
That's great, Flavia. I share your passion. I absolutely love helping others as well. And the work that you do, it just doesn't help the individual, but it has a ripple effect, right? So when you help that one person, you're indirectly helping, the spouse, the kids, the family. Like it continues into a series of positive benefits to people. So I'm grateful that what you do and what you're doing out there for people. Can you share more about the difficulties that people face and how you help them?
Yes. The hardest difficulty that people face is the one that I faced when I was going through a very hard time in my life, through bankruptcy, divorce, foreclosure. I lost both of my parents within months. It was a nightmare. It was a time of my life when it felt like everything was being thrown at me, and I did not know what to do and how to restart, how to go back on track. And so I always liked to study, to read, to learn, always, since I was a very little kid in a very chaotic reality. When I was a kid, I always thought that if I had the right education, if I met the right people, and if I was in the right place, I could succeed. So when I was at that time of my life, when I did not know what to do, I decided to go back to some of the classes that I had started, and I had to stop because, of course, everything that I was going through. So I went back to a beauty school and I got my license. And so I was always that person that when I find something good and I like something, I am that person that tells everyone. So lots of people wanted to go to that school, but it was very hard to be accepted by the school. So many of these people was already in a field. They worked without a license, and that happens a lot, believe it or not. So many of them wanted to get the right education, wanted to do the right thing, but they were not accepted by the schools. So I was there. I was already teaching them how to do makeup. I was doing makeup here and there to survive through that situation, to put food on the table for my 2 kids. Mm-hmm. And I was actually under the risk of losing my older child to the state because I was not able to take care of them.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was a very, very, very hard time. And so I went back to school. I had all these people that wanted to come and take the classes as well, especially because since they were learning makeup from me, they could not actually offer that service without a license. So I went to speak with the director of the school, and I offered to teach a class in another language so they would be accepted by the school. And I also offered them to be more flexible, accepting students that would not have a high school diploma, or maybe they could. I actually offered them to make a test to see how much these people were willing to commit, but they did not want to be flexible. And that was when my first school was born, actually, at that moment. At that moment, I got pregnant of that school, of that desire to help all these people to have their lives changed. And so I started to look into how I could get a school open. I was that person who I was not afraid of doing things that seemed to be very difficult. I was actually always that person that would look into it to see how difficult and how impossible that could be. So I went to look into the law, and I found a way that I could do it. And these people could actually become licensed. That was not a state requirement that they had a high school diploma or that they would speak a fluent English or anything of that. That was a requirement from the schools. So I opened a school for the minority, and I needed to have 12 students. And I remember when I went to the state meeting, they asked me, how do you think you'll be able to get 12 students? The school you went to just closed the doors. And that was like a couple months after I graduated. My class was the last class, and they had to close the doors. That was 2008, 2009. So they said, are you aware of what's happening in this country? And I said, yes, I am. And this is the right time. People want to learn how to succeed, and I know what they have to do. And of course, they didn't believe me, but I did. And I'm very glad that after many, many, many months, the state gave me the license, and I was able to start the first class with 38 students.
Wow.
And yes, it was, I did not expect that, to be honest. I thought I was going to teach that small class of people that told me that they wanted to go to the same school as I was going. And those people who had taken makeup classes from me, I thought it was going to be that class, and that's it. I was going to close the school, write a book, and be, a writer, and it was fine. So that's what I thought. To be honest, I did not think that it was going to grow that much, and that so many people would actually search for us and come now from other countries, because we are now approved by the immigration to,
nice.
For the I-20. So we not only help people in this country, but we are able to help families to come up and study. So it's not just that. It's not just a profession. Working with beauty is, I usually say that it's a plus from life, because it doesn't feel like work. Working with beauty feels like a therapy for the beautician. So it's good in many ways. It's good because we make money out of it. It's good because we help people to look and feel the best. We help people to raise up the self-esteem they go back home and they get compliments. They get their boyfriends and husbands and, people back because, and wives too. Many men are now looking into that too, taking more care of themselves. They come for eyebrow wax. They come for other types of waxing. They come for artificial bronzing. They come for massages. They come for many, many treatments. And so when they go back and they start, people that didn't even notice them, they felt like they didn't exist. And all of a sudden they start getting compliments. So these makes the beautician to feel the best. So we get money, we get, to help people. We get to have people have their lives changed while we have our lives changed too, because everything that we do, we get back. So it's a win-win profession, and that's so good. But not just that. What happened was, when I was going through everything that I was going through back then in 2010, I was in debt. I used to make fun of it, saying that I always wanted to be a millionaire since I was very poor in a very, very, as I said, very chaotic situation since I was a little kid. And I used to make fun of it and say that I was almost at that time a millionaire on the opposite side. I was in so much debt that I had to file bankruptcy on the Chapter 13 so I could keep the house that I purchased when I was in my early 20s. And I put so much work into that house with my own hands. I used to go to Home Depot, learn how to do construction.
Oh, wow.
Since then, I know so many codes from, and construction, and I am able to, most of the times, correct work that contractors sometimes don't do the right way before we get inspections from the building department. So it was a very important lesson that I learned when I was in my early 20s, and I put so much work into the house. I used to go to Home Depot, take classes with so many men, and rent heavy machines and go to the house to do the work myself because I couldn't pay anybody to do it. And I worked 2 full-time jobs. I had a little kid, and I had my mother at home taking care of my daughter, and my mother got pancreas cancer and she passed away.
Oh,
and that was the time it was a very hard time, of course, but I learned so much from that situation, from those very tough moments that I went through. And I am sure that if my mother somehow could see me now, she would be very proud. She would think, what, it was all worth it. And so even the bad times that we go through, they are for something. So when I first started the school, that happened in 2008, 2009. So I opened the school in June 2010. And I went to the class and I was like, listen, girls, life is tough. So just don't give up. You were here for a reason, and just keep going. Don't matter what people tell you. So since the day one, I was being a life coach to all of them throughout all these years. I have done this. I did that in the beginning just because I needed to get that out of me, to start telling people not to jump out of the window. It was a light at the end of the tunnel, and I was full of it inside of me. I had to express myself. I had to tell them, you do not think of giving up. So after 12 years, almost 13 years, what happened was I started seeing results of these. I did not plan on any of this. It was not, it was, there is an expression in Portuguese that says, come with me. I will tell you about it on the way. We'll talk about it in a way. So it was that type of.
Like make a decision. Make a decision, get going, and then we'll figure it out. Yeah.
We'll figure it out, So I did not plan, especially because I was the contractor at the first school. I was able to purchase the equipment and everything from the school that I went to for $2,000. And when I first started, I had no credit. Of course, I was filing bankruptcy. And I don't know how come they did not see that. Maybe because it was just filed with the court. And I was praying to God that they would not see that, because if they did, I was not going to be able to rent the place. And I remember they said, you have to have a liability. Otherwise, you can't sign the lease. So it was $500. I did not have $500, and I did not have credit. I did not have a credit card. I did not have any friend that I could ask for the $500. And I remember I called, I would say almost 100 people that I know that was interested in taking my makeup classes, and people that had taken it. And I asked them to come to see the school. I had the keys from the leasing office. They lent it to me so I could go see the place one more time and take measurements. So when I was there, I had this idea. I called them. I scheduled times for them to come and take a look at the school. And in my vision, it was already a school. I could almost, and as
so
I was
important
walking through it with a few of them, I just got 2 of them at the school on that day. And as I walked through it with them, I was almost seeing it with my physical eyes. I was telling them, that's the computer room. That's the product lab. There is the waxing area. This is this, that's that. So I got the 2 of them to register, and so I could make the $500 to go back and rent the space. And that was how I started, with no credit, no money, no parents, no family. Being an immigrant is most of the times very difficult, because we have no place to go back to, and no one that we can ask for, for a hand when we go in a situation like that. Not many friends will trust it, because you look like a crazy person when you do that. So as time was going by, I started to see results of that craziness. And people started to come back to me and say, thank you. I was going to commit suicide.
That's feeling.
And I heard about you. Someone was talking about you in a bakery. I heard, and I researched, and I said, you know what? I will give it a bet. And I'm here, and I graduated. I opened this clinic. I am happy. Sorry.
Very good.
I am happy. And thank you. So I started to get that from so many people that I was like, you know what? This is my mission. This is really my mission. And
very good.
I was very happy, and I started to get people to invite me, like your show, to let people know what we have been doing. And I'm very glad to share it with everyone.
Yeah. No, it's excellent. Amazing story, Flavia. It's these kind of stories is what makes me so passionate about this show, because if we can spread this kind of message out there, because there's so many people that are dealing with things, right? And they never feel that anyone else is dealing with anything. They see it on social media. Everybody's, everybody's like, everybody's like smiling. Everybody's, having a great time of their life, but at the end of the day, they don't realize that there is bad, like you said, and then there's good in every bad, and there's bad in every good, right? So it's great that you share this and you're going on shows to spread this message, because if anybody can hear this and they see that Flavia done it, and if something that they're dealing with, they can get that hope. Who knows? Maybe you can lend them that hand, right? Now, can you tell me what's the name of the school?
It's my name, Flavia Leal Beauty School. And we are now in Massachusetts and Florida.
In Florida, okay. And what does it look like, the program, for someone that's new to the country, or someone that is not happy in their job and they want to shift careers? What does that look like for them if they come to you?
They have to want to have a life change. That's all they need to have.
That's all the desire.
That's the desire. If they want to have their lives changed, we can help them.
Beautiful. Amazing.
Oh, they have to be 16.
No. Yeah, of course. But no, I know what you mean.
Rules.
Yeah.
It's not just come and, they can go for their licenses after they complete the class, or some of them just go back to their job, to the company. And, they will learn so much, not just on the beauty profession, but for the entrepreneur life. So
all around.
Our lives, all around, yes.
Yeah. And what do you feel your innermost superpower is that got you to this point?
The desire to help people.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Yes, that is what moves.
That is great.
That's what makes.
Yeah, that resonates with me very much.
And that's my fuel, that there is the energy that makes me to keep moving forward.
Of course.
When people see me on social media, and I love my Instagram friends, I love them. I share my life with them every day. Everything that I do, I tell them. I'll tell them today about the show, and I will screenshot us if you don't mind. Yeah,
sure. Go ahead.
So I
can do it right now.
I tell them everything that I do, and I share with them things that don't go right. There are so many things, so many. There are things that I have an idea, I work on it, and it comes out so good.
Amazing.
But there are times when I try something for so long and it doesn't work. And people sometimes get the wrong idea that successful people have success on everything that they do. And that's not true. That's not true.
Not true.
So many things that I do don't go right. I lose money, but I always learn. And it's so smart to learn from other people's mistakes. So I keep telling them, learn from me, but don't be stopped by what happened to me. Don't think that because it didn't work for me, it's not going to work for you. The more that you try, the more chances you have to.
Yes, exactly. Persistence. Beautiful, Flavia. Love it. Love interviewing you. Love meeting you. The information that you shared, I hope it gets to certain people that are looking for that help, right? That are looking for that skill. They're looking for someone to hold their hand and direct them in the right direction, but also care for them. They're not just a number. So I see that passion in you, and I see that what you're trying to do. Anytime that we can help, if anything else that you're launching, let us know. We will love to help you. And I appreciate you taking the time to come on our show. It's much appreciated. And audience, thank you once again for joining us. You heard Flavia. She's passionate about helping people. So if there's someone you know that needs a hand, or someone that is looking to make a change, or someone just needs to be guided in a certain direction, just check out the show notes below. Get in touch with Flavia. Get in touch with our social media. She's definitely putting in her heart in Instagram as well, as she mentioned. And again, love the shares, love the comments, the reviews, and hopefully we continue to have you in our audience and grow with you, because we can't grow alone. We have to grow with you. So appreciate you all. And Flavia, appreciate you very much.
Thank you.